Hi again, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Furman Athletics. Your look, well, just like the title says, I'm not the most clever guy in the world. Let's go with simplicity. We're going to take you inside another program here at Furman University. Today it is men's golf with our guests, former Furman golfer, Furman Hall of Famer, and former professional golfer, and now fourth year head coach, Matt Davidson. Fourth year, right?
Fourth year.
Yeah.
Yep, fourth year.
Does it seem like a lot longer than 4 years?
Now that you said it, yeah, it does. Yeah, I feel like it's been a lifetime ago that I was playing for a living, so it does seem like a while ago.
Yeah, and even here at Furman, 2000 to 2004?
Yeah, I actually started in 99, 2004. I had a red shirt year in there.
Okay.
So, yeah, it took me 5 years.
Right, well, hey, do what you can. And I'm sure the people who cash the checks over the other side of the campus appreciated that as well.
I'm sure they did.
So how you do it, man?
Doing well. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of an exciting time. The guys are starting to qualify, against each other to try to form the lineup. Spring season starts in about 2 weeks, so it's always a lot of anticipation and definitely some high expectations and I think we got a good squad, so it's exciting before the season even gets going for sure.
Yeah, it's one of the things that people probably don't really allow to register when it comes to college golf, but in a sense it's like any other college sport. People think of golf as an individual sport, and from one standpoint it is, but these guys are fighting for lineup spots that will help you in the team standings as you go on as well.
Exactly, yeah, and you're right. If you're not in the college golf world, it's something that it's funny. Our strength coach Matt Aldridge, he does an amazing job with us and with basketball, and he's kind of learning about the qualifying scenarios and the situations, and just people that aren't around it don't realize that the guys really are competing against each other to be in the starting five, and then they're obviously going out there as a team, and it's a team sport, and the way that we sort of handle that dynamic as a group. I think that it's best for them to just continue to just keep getting better, improve every day individually, and just have faith that your name's going to get called more often. The more you improve, and then once we go out there, if everybody's pushing each other, then it kind of raises the level of everybody, including those five guys that are lucky enough to represent us each week.
We're going to catch up with what's going on inside this men's golf program, and somewhere in the middle, Ella Grogan is back with us, and she has a short video interview with Demi DiMatteo, who is one of Matt's golfers from England. We'll talk about that recruiting process when we get rolling here in just a bit. But the thing that I've been asking all of the coaches when we get a chance to talk for the first time on Inside Furman Athletics is just how you feel about getting back to something that's maybe not 100% normal, but as normal as it has been in 2 years, because a season ago you had no fall season. You played the spring of 2021. Yep. You've been able to go through a fall campaign. It's been almost normal. What's that been like?
It's been a lot more fun. Yeah, a lot less stressful. We haven't had the testing protocols that sort of made everybody nervous every week. We'd have guys, that qualify in the lineup and want to go to the tournaments, but you always had to get that positive test. And now we're testing just based on symptoms, and everybody's got vaccinated and things like that. So it's a lot smoother as far as the protocols go. And then it's we still try to do the right things when we're on the road and not go to crowded places and things like that. But we're definitely doing a more of a normal atmosphere at the tournaments too, and eating as a team and doing some stuff that we didn't get to do in the spring. So it's been a lot more relaxing and a lot more fun.
But you've been able to go on the road. You did have a fall season, which we'll talk about here in a moment. And did you have some freshmen last year who missed that experience?
We did, yeah, we absolutely did. So we and everybody kind of missed those experiences. We played some really nice events in the fall. We started out at Minnesota, which is one of our best events and kind of most enjoyable trips. Great golf course, so we didn't get to do that next fall. And then just having more opportunities to win and play well. Obviously, everybody wants as many chances as they can. So we played 7 events last spring. We normally play 12 over the fall and the spring. So it was. Yeah, we definitely missed out on it for sure, but tried to make the best of it.
So you're a collegiate golfer. We mentioned you're a Furman Hall of Famer, inducted in 2018. You played professionally for 13 years, according to your bio. So you've seen a lot. There's not a lot that's happened in the world of golf that you haven't seen, and yet the COVID shutdown obviously was something none of us have seen. What did you learn about yourself, maybe as a coach, but more so as an individual during all of this?
That's a great question, Dan. I think
that's what they pay me for.
Yeah, that's a great question.
In theory.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all learned that we were taking a lot of things for granted.
Yeah.
That we really enjoy. Whether it's just going out to dinner with your wife at a restaurant, and being able to take your kids to the indoor places, children's museums, things that we love to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think and then athletically, without a doubt, our guys, they, like rightfully so, they enjoy college golf. They enjoy the tournaments. They enjoy the competition, being around each other. And when that gets taken from you midway through a spring and you don't start competing until the next spring, then I think they certainly appreciated it more when we came back. And hopefully we can hang on to that. And it's not going to be the novelty that wears off, but we definitely definitely appreciating things a little more now.
Well, anybody associated with Furman's men's golf, I think, has a deeper appreciation for what you have, maybe more so than other programs around the country. The Facebook timeline is a wonderful thing, and mine just a couple of days ago from 2014, the announcement was made on that day that the decision had been made to do away with the historic Furman men's golf program. Fortunately, some folks stepped up, Brad Faxon among them, to make sure that didn't happen. 8 years later, where this program is right now, I think everybody has to be excited about the foundation that's been built and where this program is headed moving forward.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, no, it seems like a long time ago, and I was playing professionally, and I remember getting that news and a phone call from a friend of mine, and trying to do my part then to chip in and just help out. And the way we talk about it now, I mean, it's a silver lining in what we have going on now. Mm-hmm. Obviously it was awful at the time. I wish we didn't have to go through it, but it definitely it sparked a lot of interest, a lot of alumni support. We have a small group of very, very supportive alumni, and then a huge, broad base of alumni now that are so involved as well. So it's definitely, now that we're in a much more stable place, and the momentum's as good as it's ever been now, that we look back on that, and it definitely is the kind of the silver lining is what we have now, is maybe a small part because of that.
Yeah, and I don't want to necessarily classify it as a burden to carry as a head coach, but at the same time, I would imagine that you do feel, okay, these people stepped up to do this. Now we've got to make sure that we carry this thing the right way and we continue building on that foundation and continue moving forward. That's what you're here for.
Without a doubt. Yeah. I mean, there's like I said, we have a small group of alumni that, Brad Faxon, Rob Langley, Frank Ford, Fred Stubblehill, Jeff Deloy, I can't name them all, but they so much time, so much effort, and then just so many alumni, and just, friends and family, and so many people that have given time, effort, and money. Mm-hmm. That, without a doubt, we definitely have a responsibility to them to do our absolute best, and continue to move in that direction with recruiting, player development. Everything we do is that's. I wouldn't call it a burden, but definitely a responsibility.
Responsibility,
sure,
I think, is the best word. And
big responsibility.
We focus on the money aspect of it, and obviously that's where it starts. But you mentioned time and effort, and sometimes I think those things get overlooked when it comes to ways that people can support a program.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we have a small group we meet with quarterly, and I named off names. I already know I forgot a few people, but I shouldn't have done that, but so much time and effort. Yeah, it would surprise some people how exciting and involved, and I'm just fortunate to have people in my corner like that kind of help us along the way.
If your name got left out, I'll take the hit for that because I led him down a road that he wasn't really expecting to go. But at the same time, I thought it was kind of important because of where this program was 8 years ago. It almost wasn't 8 years ago, and what's happened since, and how different folks have stepped up to take ownership of it, and now look at where this program is and where it's heading. It's just been a phenomenal story. We're visiting with Matt Davidson, the men's golf coach. So let's talk about what's actually been happening on the links. How was the fall?
It was good. It was a stronger finish than the start, which is part of the it's a little bittersweet because if we just got off to a little better start, our ranking would be where we probably wanted and needed it to be. But at the same time, you want to see that progress throughout the season too. Mm-hmm. So Minnesota and Western Carolina, our first two events, weren't quite up to what we were looking for, and then played a strong event. East Tennessee State came in 6th in a strong field, got some good wins there. NC State we beat, which was a good win. College of Charleston, which has turned out to have a good team. We had a win there, and then came in 4th place at NC State's event to cap off the fall. So it got better every week, which is important. And then hopefully that'll I know it's a long way till the spring starts, but any sort of momentum you finish the fall with is better than not having that.
Yeah, and like most sports, you talk to coaches. If you're playing well, you'd want to keep going. You want to get in that rhythm. If it's football, you're playing every Saturday. If it's basketball, you're playing twice a week. You guys had this massive break. Are you worried that the momentum and the progress that they were making individually and collectively is going to be slowed down now, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think no. We use the off season pretty efficiently to keep getting better, and a lot of guys have even taken steps the last 2 or 3 months that we're seeing in the qualifying now. So we're probably even in a better place now. And at the end of the fall, we played well the last 2 events, but the guys are pretty beat by then anyway, so they're ready for a break. So I don't know if we necessarily wanted to keep it going. It's usually end of October is about when they're done.
I got you. We're visiting with Matt Davidson. We're going to talk about some of his players in a moment. We're going to lead off with the young man we're going to hear from here in just a second, Demi DiMatteo, that Ella Grogan interviewed yesterday. You're going to see that. But before we hear from Demi, tell us about this young man. He's from England.
Yeah, so Demi is from England. He went to high school at the Baylor School in Chattanooga. Mm-hmm. So he went to high school over here for his last 3 years of high school. Incredibly hard worker, does everything the right way. Good student, very physically talented. Still learning. Course management, just like all these guys. Still kind of fine tuning his game and his scoring abilities, but has the talent, has the work ethic. And we've been incredibly happy with everything he's done the last couple of years. Well,
let's go inside who Demi DiMatteo is. Here is Ella Grogan with the Furman men's golfer.
I am here with Demi DiMatteo, a sophomore golfer here at Furman University. Demi, if you wouldn't mind just telling me a little bit about yourself.
So, as she said, my name's Demi. I'm from England. I'm a sophomore on the men's golf team. I've lived in America now for 4 years. I went to high school my junior and senior year, and I'm loving it.
So tell me, how has the adjustment been coming to Furman?
I guess it was easier for me, the adjustment, because I was already here. Mm-hmm. I was already here in America for 2 years, so I guess it wasn't that big of a culture shock to me.
Yeah, that's great to have that warning there.
Exactly,
yeah. Right.
Considering other people had never lived in America. So.
Absolutely. I bet that was a little easier than normal. So tell me, what led you to end up at Furman, and also what made you choose golf?
Interesting question. So I chose golf because my dad.
Yes.
He's an ex-soccer player, but he got me into playing golf, and then I really loved it and took advantage of it and started playing a lot when I was about 14. And the reason I'm at Furman is because I went to high school in Tennessee for 2 years, and the head coach here, Coach Davidson, recruited me, and I ended up here.
Awesome. So I'm assuming that probably just answered my next question. Is your dad probably your greatest motivation?
Yes.
That's amazing.
He's definitely my biggest motivation in life.
My dad always pushed me for sports as well. How could you not love it? Okay, so my next question is just kind of a lighthearted question. If I was in your hometown or one of your hometowns, you've lived in many places, where should I go to grab a bite to eat?
If you're in London, there's definitely many places you can go to eat, but my favorite restaurant, and I think one restaurant I will continue going to for the rest of my life. It's called Cambio di Tercio, and it's Spanish tapas food.
Wow, very
really
cool.
good, yeah.
I gotta get over there sometime soon. So do you have any fun like pre-match rituals that you like to do? Like, what's your go-to thing to do before a game?
The night before or the morning before?
Either one or both.
I'm not a big believer in rituals, but I guess just watching a film the night before, getting good sleep. I like just going on social media, just relaxing myself and taking time just to be away from stuff and just relax, basically.
Absolutely.
But I don't have any rituals.
It's probably a good thing. All right, so let's finish off with probably one of my favorite things to ask someone.
Yeah.
So finish this statement for me. Demi is blank.
Demi is a very ambitious person.
That is a great thing to say about yourself. Well, Demi, thank you so much for joining us today. For Inside Furman Athletics, I'm Ella Grogan, and now back to Dan Scott.
Ella, thank you, and thanks to Demi DiMatteo, the sophomore, for joining Ella and being with us here on this edition of Inside Furman Athletics. So, Demi's a very talented young golfer, you were telling me, but that talent is not a surprise because of his bloodlines. You were telling me about his dad, who a pretty famous guy, right?
He is, and I'm not the soccer football, as Demi would always quick to correct me.
Football, yes.
Expert. But yeah, Demi's father, Roberto Di Matteo, played for Chelsea, managed Chelsea, won an English Premier League championship there, I believe, as a manager. Played in the Italian national team, a big-time soccer player. I knew when, I knew he was obviously a famous, footballer from. But when we were recruiting Demi, we went on the admissions tour with his family, and we had guys on the Furman soccer team stopping us to take pictures with Demi's father, Roberto. So that's when I was like, wow, it's big time. He's a big time player, and you can tell. I mean, Demi's obviously very athletic, very talented himself, and kind of charted his own path with golf. So it's neat to see.
That's good stuff. What about the rest of your roster? Who are you looking at to lead this team?
Yeah, so Jack Crosby and Ross Funderburk, were our top two guys in the fall, and which wasn't unexpected coming in to the season as well. So they had nice solid falls. Jack's a fifth-year senior. He's going to turn professional. Ross is a junior, also looking to play professionally when he's done here. So they solid falls. I know Ross was, a little disappointed. He didn't have like any really high finish and in contention, but incredibly consistent. And then Jack had a couple really solid weeks, but he's always looking to get better. But
Right.
Jack's younger brother, Walker Crosby, and we got a bunch of guys, Will Moreland, Max Scott, who's actually injured right now, is coming back. But a lot of guys knocking on the door, but those two led the way in the fall, and expecting good things in the spring too.
You talk about Jack wanting to turn pro, and as we mentioned, you did that for 13 years. Does that give you any kind of an edge in recruiting, where you can talk to guys about not only can I help groom you to get ready to turn pro, but then I can help show you what to expect when you make that move?
Yes, it definitely does. Especially I spent the majority of my career on, it was a nationwide tour when I played in the Web.com tour. It's the Korn Ferry Tour now. It's kind of AAA level. And I had one season on the PGA Tour, full PGA Tour card. So yeah, when you tell recruits that, it definitely brings some credibility, and hopefully they trust that I can develop them as players and help them on that journey. I think the more removed I get from it, it probably gets a little less impressive. Maybe hopefully I don't turn into that old guy that just talks about what I was doing 15, 20 years ago. But it's still good to have that experience.
You were there,
Exactly.
and I equate it to being a lifelong baseball fan who, as a kid, had the dream that all kids do of making it to the major leagues. And I don't care if a guy got there and had one at bat.
Right.
He made it. And to me, that's a credibility that the vast majority of whatever the sport is, those athletes are never going to have. Do kids, I bring this up sometimes, do they still use the phrase street cred? Because obviously you've got it.
Yeah. I don't know if they use that phrase anymore, but yeah, I'd like to think that's a little bit of what and even getting to that Corn Ferry Tours is the level it's at now. That's gotten so competitive now to get to that level. It really is a little like baseball, where that's you got the single A, double A, and that's really the triple A feeder tour onto the PGA Tour, and that's where I had almost 150 starts and some good results out there. So that definitely hopefully when you 18 to 21-year-olds, sometimes you gotta have that credibility for them to really listen to you. So hopefully that helps.
Well, I mean, you have to put it in perspective, because people think, well, if you didn't make it to the big leagues or the PGA Tour, then you didn't quote unquote make it. But from a baseball standpoint, for instance, if you make it to AAA, you're probably in the top 75 to 80% of all of the baseball players professionally in the country. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, it's the same way, and the golf pyramid gets pretty skinny at the top too when you get to the Corn Ferry Tour, and certainly the European Tour, and there's some worldwide tours that are kind of on that level, but the AAA, what it's called, the Corn Ferry Tour now, which is where Keller Harper, a recent grad, got his status out there, and he's playing out there this year. That's the one right below the PGA Tour, and then the PGA Tour. That's a tiny percentage that get to have their PGA Tour card.
That had to be a fun year for you.
It was fun. It was. I did it in reverse order of the way I would have liked to have done it, because I got on the PGA Tour before I spent 8 or 9 years on the Corn Ferry Tour, so I wasn't quite ready golf wise. I learned a ton, did my best. But, it would have almost been nice to have gotten one more. It would have absolutely been nice to have one more shot at it later on, maybe in my 30s. I was 23, 24. I was the youngest guy out there pretty much. It would have been nice to get back out there and see what I would have done when I was, early 30s, kind of more my peak.
But the point of all this is these are things that you can offer these young men when they come into your program.
Yep.
Not only the talent and what you do in recruiting and coaching and developing, but to offer those kinds of bits of wisdom and advice and things that maybe other people in your position don't do or can't do.
Yeah, and it's fun for me too to talk to the guys about professional golf and the ones that are looking to play, which most of the guys we're recruiting now, and they have those aspirations of playing professionally. So it's fun for me to kind of be a part of that journey, and even a part of the discussion when they're talking about looking to play in the next level. And Keller, who's doing it now, he starts actually this week. Is his first Corn Ferry Tour event. He's in Bogota, Colombia, which is an event we used to start the year in South America, Central and South America, for a couple events, and that's one I used to go to every year. So just talking to him about the golf course, and even like the hotel and the shuttles and the different little things to do. It's fun for me. For sure, I'm probably living vicariously through him a little bit now.
And Hunter Reed will be happy anytime we talk about Keller Harper, right? So, as he has moved on. All right, as we get into wrap up mode here, let's talk a little bit about the upcoming schedule.
Yeah.
You get things rolling again in a little less than 3 weeks down in Hilton Head, right?
Yep. Yeah, Wexford Plantation, Francis Marion actually hosts an event down there. Great golf course, great condition. A little warmer than here typically. The weather can be up and down, but it's a field that I feel like if we go and play our games and play well, we should be able to contend for the overall win, which is nice to have those in there. And then we go to Aiken right after that for Palmetto, which is I think UVA will be there, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, so some strong teams at the top. And that is a phenomenal golf course that we go to every year. For the golf course as much as anything, it's a great event. Then we added a little exhibition match right after that at Sage Valley, where a great supporter of ours, Tom White, who's a teammate of mine, is a member out at Sage Valley. So he's kind of helped us come up with a little one-on-one match there against Mercer, which would be fun. We had one competition day rained out in the fall at Charleston this year. So we had a day open, so we kind of put that in there. So that'll be fun for the guys. And then 3 just really strong tournaments in a row to end the regular season. The Schenkel, Georgia Southern's event, the Hootie at Bulls Bay, which is South Carolina's event, and then the Augusta Haskins Invitational, which is hosted by Augusta. That'll especially the Haskins, but the Bulls Bay event and the Schenkel will be fantastic competition. It'll be a lot of Power 5 teams, a lot of even top 25 teams.
Right.
So
I was going to ask you,
is
is the Hootie at Bulls Bay, is that kind of the premier event on the schedule?
It it's a phenomenal event. The Augusta Haskins Award Invitational will be right there as well.
Mm-hmm.
That'll probably be one of the more competitive regular season events we've ever played in, honestly, in a long time. Lucky enough to get the invite to both of those this year, and it'll be good. I think it's nice to have a mix of tournaments where if you play well, you're going to be in contention for the overall win, and we got a couple of those, and then we have ones like those last three there where we're gonna have to every team in the field is gonna be a tough win,
right?
Against all 15, 16 teams. So it's good to test yourself, and that's what helps your rankings. And it's just like everything else. If you're playing against the best and playing well, you're gonna your rankings gonna go up. You're gonna get more credit for it. So it's important to have them both.
SoCon Championship is April 22nd, 23rd, and 24th in Greensboro, Georgia. Where are you playing there? What's that course like?
It's the Oconee course at Reynolds Plantation there, and it's good. Last year was the first year we played it there. Neutral site, tough golf course, pretty long. Doesn't give any team an advantage if they've got if teams got the bombers that may be sprayed versus a short tight team. It's tough enough to where it doesn't favor any one team, which is what all of our coaches are looking for. And
right.
It's a good conditioned golf course and a great place. So it'll be good venue.
What is the realistic expectation for this team as the spring season gets ready to unfold?
Yeah, so we're certainly looking to peak in April. The Southern Conference Championship's always what we're targeting. That's always our goal. We were the third ranked team in the SoCon coming out of the fall. East Tennessee State's, I think they're right in the 20 to 25 range nationally, so they're very strong as always. UNC Greensboro looks good this year as well, and then we were right there. So we'll have to keep improving. Hopefully we'll get in contention to win a few of these 5 regular season events, and then come the Southern Conference Championship, we'll certainly have to be on our games and be prepared to hang with East Tennessee State and some of the other teams. It's a competitive conference for sure, but I think we're in the mix the last few years. We've been right in that mix, but East Tennessee State's strong.
It probably doesn't come across as much for those of you who are watching this because you don't have the close-up look that I do, but you're listening to Matt talk. He's a very soft-spoken, almost comes across as an unassuming guy, but I'm sitting here as he's talking. We're talking about competition, and I'm looking at his eyes, and that competitive fire is burning down in there, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, no, I definitely get plenty of the competitive need that somebody that obviously played a professional sport. I've always been pretty competitive. I get it through the coaching now, without a doubt, and it's good competition. I mean, it's tough. Every coach at our school is trying to excel, in a D1 level, and there's a lot of people trying to do it out there. So it's very competitive, and I think we've got it moving in the right direction. But it's fun. It's fun to compete against the best, and we do have a really strong conference for our sport, which I think is a good thing.
Before we wrap it up, any recruiting updates, facility updates, anything you want to share, anything we haven't talked about?
Yeah, we have a pretty big facility up there. I know Jeff was on here, was it last week? So I'm sure he filled you all in. But the Davidson Faxon Indoor Training Facility, the grand opening is on Thursday, the dedication, which is going to be a lot of fun. We'll have a lot of folks out there being able to see it with their own eyes. But we have been utilizing it for about a month now. 3 hitting bays, 6 students can hit at once, putting studio, little workout area, all sorts of technology. So
it's like, where was all this when you were playing, right?
I know. I believe I would have never left.
Which might not have been good for the old grade point average.
It would not have been. It would not have been. So yeah, and obviously in inclement weather, even at night, guys can get work in, and then it's a great player development technology piece as well, and then great for recruiting for sure.
So we're recording this, and it's going to drop on Tuesday afternoon. So it's coming Thursday, right?
Yeah, literally a
Grand
couple
opening.
days. Thursday. Yep, that's the dedication ceremony. We've been in there utilizing the facility since the start of when we got back from winter break. So, but that is the dedication on Thursday. So the Davidson, in fact, is an indoor training facility. It's going to be advantageous on many different reasons.
Well, you would hope,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, absolutely. It's going to be fantastic.
Anything else that we need to cover before we wrap it up?
No, just obviously looking forward to getting going in a couple weeks. We've got still a pretty young team with Jack being the 5th-year senior leading the way, and we've got some great freshmen coming in next fall too. Harris Barth from Georgia, Zach Frazier from Coppell, Texas, and Clark Akers from Nashville, Tennessee. So we've got guys coming in next year and pretty young team. So I think we're hopefully keep pointing in the right direction.
All right, the spring season opens on the 21st and 22nd of this month, less than 3 weeks away, when Furman will be part of the field at the Wexford Plantation Intercollegiate down in Hilton Head Island. So it's going to be here before you know it, right?
Yep, a couple weeks.
All right, Matt, thank you so much.
Thanks, Dan.
That is Matt Davidson, and he has been our guest today. Also, our thanks to Demi DiMatteo for chatting with Ella Grogan and taking you inside the Furman men's golf program here on Inside Furman Athletics. We'll be back again next week with another edition of this interview show. Looking forward to it. And until then, for Matt and all of us at Furman, as always, I'm Dan Scott saying God bless you. And so long, everybody.